Captain of Team USA, and Mark DeRosa said obviously had high expectations what Judge would bring and high expectations what the clubhouse would be like. And he said it's all exceeded his expectations, and it circles back around in a room full of superstars to number 99. 1-0 Dominican Republic on a Junior Caminero home run in the second inning. 0-2 to Henderson is taken down and away for a ball. Mark DeRosa called Gunnar Henderson this winter and offered him a spot on Team USA. He said, I want to be up front with you. Bobby Witt is our starting shortstop. We want you on the club. We're going to find time for you. And Henderson said, all right, I get it, but I'm going to force your hand. Sure enough, the first start that he gets, bangs out 4 hits. Finds himself in the starting lineup in this winner go-home game. Rookie of the year in 2023. Was an all-star in 2024. Not quite as good last year, but still just 24 years of age. Good take right there. Count evens 2-2.
Big inning, as we talked about, coming off that emotional inning before. Velocity coming back closer to his average. And what happens for a pitcher when, especially, you're not built up, you go through a high energy, stressful situation, you make pitch after pitch, and you get out of it and you explode in the third inning, which you wouldn't do many times in a regular season game, but this is not a regular season game. You've got to be careful, and I think the bullpen's going in the right direction because of that air coming out of the balloon type feeling.
Henderson fouls it off. Ed Gregory Soto warming down there. Did you have any tricks for when your motor got running a little bit too hot?
The biggest thing that I learned, well, I never really, unless it was late in the game, would let out too much emotion because I was always trying to store it up. But the one thing you can't do is you can't sit back and let it eat or throw it as hard as you can. You've got to, when you're in this play right here, and consider this the 8th inning in a normal start because spring training hasn't built him up. You rely on your location and secondary stuff to get you through because the velocity he had early was good enough.
Gunnar Henderson getting a lot of information from him here. The 9th pitch, turns on it, sends a fly ball to right center field. Gunnar Henderson has tied it up. DeRosa pushes the right button, pushing Gunnar Henderson into the lineup. Numbers that you could not deny against Luis Severino in his career.
But I'm telling you, this is all like pitching 101. I think this should be his last hitter. And the reason being is he has lost an inch or two now on that crispness. And he did everything he could that last inning to keep it at 0.
If a tank can be emptied in the 3rd inning,
yeah.
And this time of year maybe
absolutely. In this kind of game, yeah, there's so much emotion. You can't ignore it.
Will Smith breaks the ball left center field. Juan Soto's on the run, tracks it down. What a hand from Severino as Soto covers a lot of ground right there. Defense, one of his focuses this offseason. Look back at the Henderson home run. Wakes up that Team USA dugout. They've been looking for the big swing, and they get it from the Orioles star, Gunnar Henderson. One batter later, that is it for Luis Severino. Albert Pujols.
Team USA knows they've seen Soto in the big leagues. They know sometimes you got to wait it out.
Anthony not on the initial roster for Team USA. Corbin Carroll got hurt, and they needed another outfielder. And Anthony was the choice. Most of the conversations around Anthony revolved around Team Italy. He had decided he wasn't going to play for Team Italy. He injured his oblique at the end of last season and wanted to focus on recovering from that, getting ready for his Red Sox season. But he got what he said was a shocking call. That was from Mark DeRosa and Team USA to join the red, white, and blue. Fly ball right center field. Rodriguez and Tatis going back. It is gone. Robert Anthony gives the U.S. the lead. The one that got away for Team Italy, and a pretty good guy to add to the lineup for Team USA.
He waited him out. He got to a 3-2 count and just displayed that power and bat-to-ball skills that he has.
Terang fouls it off, and so on a pair of home runs here in the 4th inning, Team USA has taken the lead.
It's just as pretty as it gets. The bat's in the zone. But the bat didn't stay in the park.
Strike on Terang. It's 0-2. Roman Anthony was at the championship game last time Team USA played in the World Baseball Classic. He bought a ticket to go to the championship game. In his first Red Sox spring training, drove over here to Miami with a couple minor league teammates, and they sat in the stands.
Because we don't cover every game and we've been primarily staying with Team USA, is that the first deficit for the Dominican Republic team?
We'll double check it, but they had outscored their opponents 51-10. The only game that was even close was the first one against Nicaragua of all teams. That was 3-3 to the late innings. It's been a walk in the park for the most part. Trying to repeat what the 2013 club did, and that is have a clean sweep right on through. They won their lone title. There's nobody left from that team unless you consider Nelson Cruz, who's the general manager for this edition of the Dominican Republic. Albert Pujols played one time. That was in 2006. Terang's out in front. Soto gets a strikeout. 2 gone in the 4th. Another look at Anthony's home run. Mark DeRosa said he sensed from his team that they sensed the noise this week. They may not listen to the noise that was around this team, but a sense of we want to quiet it. And they knew that they were going to be coming into a hostile environment here, similar to what they had on Monday in Houston facing Mexico. That was probably 70-30 Mexico fans. What do you think this is tonight?
That's close to 70-30, maybe around there, 60-40, 70-30. And look, the hype around this tournament and the quality of players that have started to agree to play in it.
Little cue shot that knuckles by Soto, and Pico Armstrong's aboard.
Is making this tournament better and better, because when we started this out, we did not get, the Team USA did not get a lot of its stars. And you can put that argument to rest now with the work that Mark DeRosa and the U.S. staff has done, because, you know, we're seeing some star-studded countries, and now it's equaling out.
Yeah, doesn't it kind of feel like this matchup here is the culmination of that, where all those roads have led to from the first W. There's some guys coming out of the Team Italy pen that haven't even reached AA, AAA at this point. It was like, my goodness. Strike 2 on Witt.
He likes to elevate that fastball. See if this is the place he tries to go to it.
Good lead for PCA. Not running. 2-2. Got the answer to your question. Confirmed that Nicaragua game was the only time that they've trailed. Nicaragua scored in the top of the first inning. And Dominican scored 2 in the bottom of the first. Has not trailed since. Waits on this 2-0 pitch. Pulls it to right field. At Judge. He's got it. Aaron Judge comes off his feet and makes the play. Couple of nice defensive plays for Judge.
He's not just an offensive machine. We've seen his defense, his arm, and the way that he can cover the ground. Look, this guy's played center field. So playing right field, no big thing for Aaron Judge.
1 out. Here's Guerrero. And the guy that you had circled, John, both times he's faced him, he's done so with the bases empty.
I'm telling you, that doesn't always work out that way, but when it does, you got a big sense of relief. When you face a guy like Guerrero, you have to remember how you got him out, because he's going to remember how you got him out, and you have to find a different way to get him out. You can't go to that same spot too many times.
The 1-1 to him. Along third and foul. He hit .397 in the playoffs last year. He had more home runs than he did strikeouts. But for me, what was the most impressive thing was just the well-roundedness of his game, his base running, and his defense too.
Yeah, everything was right on point. You knew he wanted this for a long time, for his team to stay healthy.
That's a base hit down the left field line. He hit it low, but he hit it so hard that it scoots by Roman Anthony. Vlad Jr. with a double. 116 miles per hour racing to the left field wall.
Well, that's exactly what I was talking about. He got him to ground out to third in his first at bat and went back into that area. And look, this is just, that is such good hitting. I can't even tell you. That split finger fastball going down and in, and he just gets the barrel of the bat to it. A lot of people in the analytical world may want him to drive and lift more pitches. No, sir. Gap to gap, professional hitter. He'll run into his home runs. Don't you worry.
Manny Machado with a tying run in scoring position. Fouls back the first pitch. Captain for the Dominican Republic in his third WBC. He's from just down the street here in Miami. Rito Miami Private School, 3 miles from here, but his mom's side of the family from the Dominican Republic. 0-1 from Skeens. Strike 2.
Okay, now in this pitch right here, I'm sure Paul Skeens very aware it does not have to be and should not be in the strike zone.
Breaking pitch down and away.
You can just keep going higher with that fastball.
Banged up the middle, smothered by Witt. It'll be a hit for Machado, but it saves a run.
Will Smith wanted it high, but he threw it right down the middle. That's the difference. He needed to get that ball above his hands and above the mask of Will Smith, but he threw it down the middle, and lucky it's just a single.
So now Caminero, how you pitching him?
Well, he had him dead to rights until he threw a high slider on the outside part of the plate. You've got to get him. If you throw one pitch in, you can get him out of the way, but you've got to get him off the plate, down.
Do not miss, because he sure won. 3 home runs in this WBC. Whistles in there. 99. addition to being the best young power hitter in the game, Junior Caminero last year grounded into 31 double plays, the most in the majors in more than a decade. Skeens delivers 1-1 and a ground ball to short. 6-4. Oh, Terang had it pop out. They get the out at second. Ball came out on the transfer, but instead of the inning ending on a double play, the door's left open. It'll be first and third with 2 out. They had it.
Yeah, Terang maybe tried to do that a little too quick for as hard as that ball was hit. And getting that first out and this ball popping out of his glove. This ball was hit on a 3-hopper right to short, and he just tried to be a little too quick.
Dominican Republic wanted to take a look at that and make sure that he did in fact get the out at second, and there will be no challenge. So first and third, tying right now 90 feet away. Let's see if Dominican Republic can take advantage. Julio Rodriguez. Rodriguez had 3 hits, including a home run in the first game against Nicaragua. He's 0 for 11 since. Guerrero at third, Caminero at first. Skeens comes home. They almost hit him. Here's the 1-1 pitch. A strike 2. What do you like?
Breaking ball off the plate. He's got him in conscious. And he gets an opportunity to get this off the plate, breaking away from him.
Time taken by Rodriguez. 32 home runs last year, another 4 in the postseason, including 1 in Game 7 of the championship series. He would have been the guy that they were talking about had that lead held up.
One thing he does do with runners in scoring position, he does chase a lot.
The 1-2 from Paul Skeens. He hit him. Hit him on the wrist. It's the second batter that Skeens has hit with 2 strikes. The bases are loaded. The more immediate thing is hope Julio Rodriguez is okay. A few years back, Jose Altuve got hit in the thumb in the WBC. Had to miss the first couple months.
This one just chases in. He really didn't have much. He got him twice off the wrist and his chest.
Rodriguez has said
best quality pitch you can. Preferably get that ground ball out or a chase.
Now Skeens in the driver's seat with all 7 of those pitches, all his toys he can work with. Home with an 0-1. Buzzed him inside, ball 1. Two hits and a hit batter in the inning. The 1-1. Wells down the line, foul. Paul Skeens had pitched in the College World Series, but a couple of years for the last place team in the Pirates. At this level, hadn't pitched in a game quite like this.
Very interested here. He's got him in conscious. Conscious been inside. Does he throw that splitter away after pounding 2 pitches in?
Wells will take time. Yankee catcher resets. 1-2 pitch. Fouled it off. Stuck with the fastball.
He went away, but he went with the fastball up.
All solo home runs in this game. Caminero for the DR.
They relish this experience, relish playing for their country, but the way they're playing tonight, it's a lot easier for them to show they're having fun.
And it's certainly, I mean, high tide raises all boats, right? And the way that the Dominican Republic are over there having a great time, and the environment in this building, figure infuses them with some of that as well. Harper flies out to left on the first pitch, and Mark DeRosa said he just hates that narrative that they're not having any fun. Look, it hadn't probably been real fun the way that it's been against Mexico. For a lot of that game, they were quiet. And against Italy, the loss. Plenty of reasons to get excited early on in this game. Here's Judge, who's 1 for 2.
I always laugh at the notion that, you know, a guy could strike out 3 times, break 3 bats over his knee, and it'll be viewed as that's an intense competitor. He struck out 3 times versus the guy that strikes out 3 times and sets the bat in the bat rack.
High drive center field. Rodriguez going back. Did he get enough? He did not, because Julio scaled the wall. Spider-Man robbing Superman.
Judge had carried his bat almost to first base. Watch this. He knows he's got it pretty good. He's got the bat in his hand the whole time. So there's maybe just a little doubt. And then that eliminated it.
Julio Rodriguez, who just got hit by a pitch. Dominican Republic fans, certainly Seattle Mariner fans, were holding their breath, making sure he was okay. I think he's all right. Dismay and respect all the same. Something altogether different right there from Mejia. So it stays 2-1. 0-2 on Kyle Schwarber. Julio Rodriguez right at the forefront of young players coming out, showing emotion. Of course, more of the culture in this World Baseball Classic. It invites more of that. And it is so much fun watching them, like he says, play the game like he's a kid again. 0-2 to Schwarber in the dirt. They asked Albert Pujols, do you think that some of this can be taken to the regular season? The emotion you see across the WBC, and he said, I just don't think you can replicate it. You got to know that this is in our blood. This is in our DNA, the way we came up playing the game in the Dominican Republic. So a lot of it has to do with repping the country. Wearing that jersey.
Well, plus, you'd be wiped out. Right? In 162 games.
How many more we got? 150.
I always wonder, how much time does it take to remember every celebrational move? You know, everyone's got something, and you know they work on it.
Schwarber on the ground, past Marte, 2-out base hit. Yeah, you got to have a full catalog of those.
Yeah, you do.
You know, like quarterbacks have their play call sheet. You could pull out your band to remind you of your celebration.
And the way my brain is, I would forget half of them, and it'd be like, oh, my bad. You know, that wasn't the one we were supposed to do with you.
Gunnar Henderson, who lit the fire for Team USA with a home run to lead off last inning. And Chase Luis Severino, he's going to face somebody other than Mejia. Brazoban. Gunnar Henderson, not a little guy. As he climbs in to face the new Dominican pitcher, it's Huáscar Brazoban. 36 years of age at the New York Mets. Brazoban started his baseball journey some 15 years ago when he signed with the Colorado Rockies, but didn't make it to the major leagues until a decade later when he finally broke through in 2022. Ball 1 on Henderson.
Tell you what, Schwarber can get as big a lead as he wants. They're not even going to pay attention to him.
Up along first, that's fair ball, and Guerrero steps on the bag to end the inning. He's had some tremendous defense in this game. Rodriguez with the latest jam.
In an inning. It's happened once or twice.
I think you're right. Just the bottom of the first inning. 1, 2, 3 for Skeens. Rocks and fires in 0-1. Perdomo fouls it off, and it's 0-2. Skeens had 3 uncles who served in the military. That was what inspired him to want to go the same route. Of course, by now you know, went to the Air Force Academy with dreams of being a fighter pilot. Baseball took him to LSU, but he said he thinks every day about what he learned at the academy, and he wanted to do this. He wanted to pitch for Team USA. He said for every serviceman and servicewoman. Popped into left center field. See who wants it. It's Anthony. And it's for some guys, you're going to say that because that's what you're supposed to say. But that is genuinely coming from the heart of Paul Skeens. It's a big part of who he is.
Yeah, all I can think of is what's the tallest guy to be in a cockpit?
That was going to be a problem. Back to the top in Tatis. Skeens is 6'6", 260 pounds.
I just hope this young man can stay healthy and defeat the odds of every pitcher in the big leagues that throws like him that usually ends up getting something, an injury. I hope he can stay healthy and pitch for 10, 12 years and set all kinds of records.
Tatis with one away, takes inside. Going into his 3rd year with the Pirates. You'd love to see the Pirates build a little more around him.
Come on, Pirates.
And they made some moves this offseason. Got a 1.97 ERA his first 2 seasons. Cy Young after he won Rookie of the Year. Tatis cracks his bat on a flare that's foul.
And I think for him, the next level is going more innings, giving his team more chances to win games. It's must-win game when he pitches, right? And he had a lot of games where it was just 5 innings, 6 innings. And a lot of that had to do with pitch count. A lot of that had to do with controlling the environment for him. The next level for him is to get over that 200 innings and really make that impact in every game a little bit longer by staying in the game a little more.
New piece of lumber for Tatis. 0 for 2 tonight. Skeens comes home. Tatis pounds it into the ground up along 3rd. That is a foul ball.
And the reason I say that is the reward system is counterproductive in our game. They will reward a pitcher for more sexy stats like strikeouts and things that don't really necessarily long-term help your team throughout the season. Innings pitched needs to get back into the forefront to be a valuable commodity for your team.
And I think you're seeing a surge in that. We often see what happens in the postseason become a season-long trend that follows. And look what a lot of the Dodger pitchers did during the postseason. Yamamoto at the front of that line. 1-2 comes home to Tatis. Pops it foul.
Because you can go into a game and be really selfish to get stats, meaning you could throw 110 pitches in 5 innings and get 10 strikeouts and ultimately not be as valuable to your team.
Penn's got to cover 4 innings. Season-long effect of that. You do it too many times. Tatis hustling. Bare hand. Throw. But wide. Tatis with an infield hit. The only chance Henderson had. Throw is offline, though. Tying one aboard. And with the speed of Fernando Tatis.
Yeah, Tatis right